Hi everybody. So I'm sure you were expecting to see the girls today, but today I'm going to do a video about the girls. It's a lot of questions that people have asked, so it's kind of a Q&A about Anna and Gwen. So I'll start with the first one. I probably should have organized these a little bit better, but I just kind of wrote them down in the order that I saw them. So we'll start with the first one. Somebody asked where we're from. Lisa asked. She heard an accent. So I'm not sure if you heard my accent or if you heard Dad's accent, Walt's accent. Walt is originally from Massachusetts, so he does occasionally get that New England accent when he's talking. And I was born and raised in New Jersey, close to Philly, so I sometimes do say things like wooder for water. It's just how I grew up hearing it and saying it. Now there is a lot of people that ask about the finger game that the girls play. So they just kind of made that up. We don't really allow them to have toys at the table when they're eating, so they use their imagination to use the fingers, and they have Anna fingers and Gwen fingers, and I have Mama fingers, and we go on all kinds of adventures. It's mostly played at the table, but it is from time to time played when we're in our playroom, or even while we're riding in the car to go somewhere. They will play with their fingers in the back, and they go on all kinds of adventures, and they get stuck, and Mama's fingers have to help. So it's a cute little game that they just made up. It's just a make-believe pretend game. Let's see. Diana asked if Walt is a cook. He is not. Neither of us are trained in cooking, but both of us do enjoy cooking. Walt is pretty good at it. He's better at some things, and I'm better at other things. I don't grill anything. He's great at grilling. He's also good at frying things. I'm not the greatest at frying things. I prefer to bake things. Yeah, but I guess we're both pretty good at cooking, but neither of us were ever taught professionally. I keep looking over here. We have our butterfly. She's crawling around and flapping her wings. I think she's getting ready to go. Dad is at the park right now with the girls, so possibly when they get back we may release her or him. I'm not sure how to tell the sex of a butterfly. So many viewers are very concerned that I refer to our cat as just Cat, and they want to know what his name is. Well, I was not very original when I came up with the cat's name. His name is Cat. Yep, nothing special, so you'll just hear us talking about Cat. Cat ate Beano's food. Cat walked across the floor. Cat's meowing. That's his name. He responds to it. They're both over there sleeping right now. Beano just looked at me. There have been a few people asking, especially Janice. I'm not sure if Janice responds to any of the comments, but a lot of people have asked us what our P.O. box is. So our P.O. box, I'm going to see if I can go on here and show you how to find it on YouTube. So when you log into YouTube, okay, so when you log on to YouTube, there's that. There's like a view channel if you type my name. So you go to view channel, and then here's the channel. So here's the playlist down here, and here's like a little paragraph. If you touch this paragraph, it brings you to this screen. That's the description screen. So it's got pretty much anything you may need to know on there. So that's how you find where our P.O. box is. All right. I don't know if that just messed up the other thing. I'm not sure. So let's see. What hand do the girls use? Are they left-handed or right-handed? A lot of people have asked that. I myself am left-handed. My husband is right-handed. The girls right now, we don't know what hand they want. They do switch their hands off and on, but we don't know which hand they're going to prefer. We probably won't know that until they're in school, around closer to 5 years old. So it'll be interesting to see if we have one right-handed and one left-handed. Let's see. Jamie asked how long the girls nap. So they've been on a pretty, I did sleep train them. They have been on a pretty good nap routine since they were probably about 8 months old. They are down to one nap now, and they nap usually around 12 o'clock noon until 2 or 2:30 in the afternoon. Sometimes we do push it a little bit. They'll go down at 12:30 and then they'll nap until 3. But yeah, so they get about 2 to 2.5 hours of nap. Jamie also asked, they used to use utensils. Why did they stop, and why are they using their fingers now? So children are funny. They go back and forth. They learn something and then they try to do it the original way, and then they'll try to do it different ways. It's just all how they process things and how they learn things. So I don't know how to, let's see, I don't know anything to equate that to. So they do still use their forks and their chopsticks and their spoons, but they now are in that they want to feel everything, I think, and that's why they've gone back to their fingers. So I do still encourage them to use their spoons or forks or chopsticks. Yeah, and I'm sure by the time they're in school, they will not be eating with their hands unless it's a finger food, such as a sandwich or a French fry or something else that you're supposed to pick up with your hands. That might also be something that's very confusing to them. Some foods we eat with our hands, some foods we're supposed to eat with utensils, so maybe they're not understanding why everything keeps switching. Which I could see how that could be confusing for a kid, but it's natural. It's 100% natural. It's completely normal, and they'll figure out what foods to use spoons and forks with and what foods to use their fingers with in the future. Somebody asked what the background noise is. I'm not sure what exactly you're referring to. Right now, there is a tractor that is driving some. We did have a tree cut down, so he's perfect timing, driving right behind the window. I'm sure you hear it. That's what that noise is. If it's a clicking noise that you're hearing, like nails on the floor, that's Beano. He's sleeping right now because there's no food. And but when the girls are here, he knows that he may get a little treat because sometimes they do feed him. They haven't in a very long time, but once a dog is used to seeing food dropped on the floor, he is going to make sure to be there every single time just in case it ever happens again. So the girls are really good about not purposely dropping food on the floor. Occasionally it may happen. With their new chairs, though, it doesn't happen as much, which is good. Let's see. Bow Wow asks if there's anything they don't like. So far, they do not like mashed potatoes. They do not like stuffing. And they do not like Jell-O. I think it's a texture thing. Also, cream-based soups. They prefer the more liquid soups or clear soups. So cream-based soups, other than that Thai coconut soup, which was a thin soup. It wasn't thick like a lobster bisque. But they don't like, I think it's a texture thing. They don't like that texture. Jana asks if they've ever had tater tots. They have. They do like tater tots. They don't like mashed potatoes. They will occasionally eat a French fry. They prefer veggie fries, so cauliflower fries or broccoli fries over regular French fries. But they do like tater tots. Let's see. So many people, I was going to do this one last, but so many people ask, why don't I cut the girl's hair? Well, being a hairdresser / barber, from experience, my experience, a lot of people would be so stressed out on how frequently they would have to trim their daughter's bangs or fringe. And I remember as a kid growing up that my bangs were always in my face. I didn't necessarily want bangs. That's just how my mom got my hair cut. And then when I was old enough, I said, I don't think I want bangs anymore. I want to grow them out. I grew them out and it has been the best thing ever. So the front of my hair is slightly shorter than the back of my hair, but it's long enough that it's able to be tucked behind my ears. I can pull a little piece out of my braid, I think, maybe. Yeah, so you can see it's not as long as the rest of my hair, but it's able to be tucked behind my head. So that is what I'm waiting for the girls, especially Guinevere. When her hair reaches a certain length, it will naturally be able to tuck behind her ears and it won't be hanging in front of her face. There has been concern about vision for her, and I don't think anybody has to be concerned. We've seen eye specialists for other reasons, and there's nothing wrong with their eyes. And the pediatrician does not think that there's, any problem with the hair in front of Gwen's eyes. She just prefers it that way right now. So I'm going to grow her bangs out so that she can't really wear it in front of her face in the future. Let's see. Deborah asked, which one is more of a daddy's girl? So it goes back and forth which child prefers. Lately, Guinevere prefers me and Anastasia prefers dad. But before that, Anastasia preferred me and Guinevere preferred dad. So they switch back and forth, and it's a weekly thing. It changes day to day. It changes weekly, monthly. They'll wake up one morning and say, I'll go, and then go to try to pick them up, and they say, no, I want Dada. And if Dada's not home, there's a lot of tears because they don't want Mama to pick them up. They want Dada. So it does go back and forth on who prefers who. I'm not sure we can say which one is more of a daddy's girl than the other, or which one is more of a mama's girl than the other. I will say that I think Guinevere resembles her father more and Anastasia resembles me more. So Carmela asks why I talk to the girls while they're eating. Well, when I was growing up, we sat around the table and we had conversations while we ate. It was different from many households, I'm sure, but I think it's a great way to establish that family bond and to make sure that the girls are heard and make sure that the girls know that they're heard. So by me asking them what their day was like, or what did they do earlier, or do they like whatever food they're tasting, it's giving them a voice. So that's why I talk to them while they're eating. I try to be more aware of when they have food in their mouth, but sometimes they'll have food in their mouth and they talk. Once they grow up a little bit more, they'll realize that they should finish chewing before they start talking. It's hard to get the timing perfectly when they're eating, but when the camera's not on, we talk to them exactly the same way. So the next one is, who was born first? A lot of people have asked this. Guinevere was born first. She was born at 9:01 on February 2nd, 2022. And Anastasia was born at 9:04. So there was a 3-minute difference there. Yeah, and I cried when they both came out. Tears of joy. Cat World asked, do they call each other by name or do they just say sissy? They do call each other by name, especially Anastasia. Anastasia will call Gwen more than she says sissy. They interchange them. And Guinevere will call herself Gwen, and she'll talk about Anna. So they do call each other by name. They know who. There was a little confusion in the beginning. Gwen kept calling herself Anna. She understands that she's Gwen. It's hard to pick up sometimes, though, because they say Gen instead of Gwen, and sometimes it sounds like again. So they do know each other's names. They also, the other day, it surprised me, Anastasia called her dad Walt, which that made me chuckle. I guess she heard me continuously calling him Walt and not Dada. So she realized his name is Walt. We laughed at it. It was cute. So let's see. Many people have asked what my job was before this. I was a barber. I owned my own barber shop for many years. It was a very busy barber shop, and I ended up selling it because I got pregnant. And yeah. I don't think I'll ever own another barbershop. That was a child in itself. It was a lot of work running and operating a barbershop. I could probably still, if I saw one of our customers, whether it was one of mine or one of my employees' customers, I could probably still remember their name and haircut. I have an insane memory like that, but that's what I did before the girls. Let's see. Can the girls do ABCs in sign language? This is from a viewer in the UK. So the girls know quite a lot of American Sign Language. I'm teaching them something new all the time with sign language. They do know a lot of the letters in American Sign Language. A lot of people have also asked why I teach them sign language. It's kind of like a second language. I think it's a great tool to have. It's something great to know. And yeah, I'm going to have to try to teach them more words because I know some of you are learning sign language from them. Let's see. There was a lot of people asking why the girls don't wear bathing suits. So in all the swim videos and the beach videos, the girls are actually wearing bathing suits. They're two pieces. There's a long sleeve top, and it's to prevent, it's a rash guard. It's to prevent any kind of a rash from, if there's those tiny little jellyfish in the water that can irritate your skin, sand can irritate it. The best though is it prevents sunburn. So it actually protects your skin from sun. So you only really have to sunscreen their face, their heads, and their legs. So they do have, it is two pieces. The bottom piece is like a little skirt. We have a few different types of bathing suits. That one's my favorite. Nani gave it to us. We do have the long sleeves with just a regular bikini bottom. And the Moana dresses, they are actually bathing suits. So there's several different bathing suits they had. A viewer also gave us a different Moana bathing suit and a Minnie Mouse bathing suit that we do play in. We wear it here in the pool at our house. We have a very small pool that somebody gave us. It's in the shade, so they don't need the sunscreen. But those ones are like tank tops, tankinis. So if we were to wear them to the beach, we'd have to slather their entire bodies with sunscreen, which takes them away from playing and makes them sad. So how do I tell the girls apart? A lot of people have asked this. So from the nose up, they are completely different to me. They don't look anything alike to me. But from the nose up, they're more different than from the nose down. From the nose down, they look very similar. From the nose up, Anastasia's eyes are a little bit bigger. I know it's sometimes hard to tell because Gwen's hair is in her face. But her eyes are a little bigger. Guinevere's forehead is bigger though. She's got like a wider top of her head right here this way, and Anastasia's is taller this way. It's probably very slight, but I notice it almost immediately. So the shape of their heads is different. Their eyes are definitely different. I think those are the most distinguishing. And obviously their hair right now, Anna likes it out of her face and Gwen likes it in her face. Let's see. People have asked a lot of viewers, where is the beach or the bay in relation to our house? So the beach is about 15 to 20 minutes away from us. That's the ocean, depending on which beach we go to. But most of the time, the beach that we go to is 15 to 20 minutes away, depending on where we can find parking. The bay is about 40 minutes away. So it's not terribly far, but it's a little further. So if we wake up and we, don't want to pack the car up, we usually just go to the ocean instead of the bay. Even though the bay has, it's always so relaxing there, and there's no waves, and it's a lot calmer for the girls. Many people have asked, do they drink milk? They do. They get not as much milk as when they were kids, but they don't need it as much now. They drink probably about 30 to 40 ounces of milk, which is, according to our pediatrician, a recommended amount. Now, they do go on milk kicks, so sometimes they'll only want to drink milk, and they'll ask for it all day long, and we'll give it to them because other days they might not drink any milk. But, it's not a crazy amount of milk. They only drink milk and water throughout the day, and the occasional lemonade if we decide to make it. They only had the lemonade that one, I think it was 2 days in a row. But for the most part, they only drink milk and water. Many people have asked if I'm going to have more kids. The answer is no. I had, on my other channel, Stay at Home Mom, Hot Mess Express, I did talk about the birthing process and everything. So if you want to check that video out, I'll put it in the description of this video. But it was recommended by the doctors that I do not have any more kids. It was a rough couple of weeks after giving birth. I almost didn't make it, so I'm glad to be here telling my story. But yeah, there will be no more kids. So a lot of people also did not, I guess, see the video where I talked about the sunflowers. And people have been asking if the sunflowers grew. They did not, because the deer, we're suspecting the deer, somebody said it could have been a squirrel, but something ate the little sprouts that came out. So we did not get sunflowers this year. We are going to do it again next year. I'm going to put a fence around it or something to block it off, or maybe just plant so many that they couldn't possibly steal them all. But we are definitely going to do sunflowers next summer, in the beginning of the summer. So look forward to that. Do the girls play well off camera? Do they play much? That's a question from Valley. Yes, they do play well off camera. Sometimes they bicker, which is completely normal. They do play. If they're not eating, they're playing. We go to the library a lot, so they play with other kids there at the library. Like I said, right now they're at the playground, quite possibly with other children and with Dad, playing with probably other children. Let's see. Gemini Fox asked, if I closed my eyes, could I tell the girls' voices apart? Yes. I am able to. So sometimes they're in another room playing while I'm in here cooking, and I can hear them. And I can tell who is talking to who. It's funny. And if somebody does something wrong to the other one, I can hear who it is. So I can tell their voices apart, yes. When they were younger, before they could speak, I could tell their cries apart. They have slightly different voices, I think. You might not hear it, but I can hear it. A lot of people have asked if there were crosses behind the girls. So right behind my head right here, that is actually a light for the fish tank. So they are not crosses. They are lights for our new fish tank. Sharid asks if they have ever had raw milk. They have not. Raw milk is not legal in New Jersey. I will do a little more research about it and ask our pediatrician about it. But I don't know enough about raw milk to, say whether or not it's good or bad. I'm not knowledgeable on that. But they have not ever had it. Do the girls take vitamins? Jacqueline asked. Yes, they do. They take a morning vitamin that our pediatrician gives us. So it's a prescription vitamin. Let's see. Penny asked, do the girls weigh the same? And what their birth weight and birth time is. This is why I should have gotten the questions in a better order. So we've done their birth time. Guinevere was born at 9:01 and Anastasia was born at 9:04. Right now they do weigh the same. Every now and again at the pediatrician's, Anna might be weigh a little bit more by a pound than Guinevere, but the last time we were there, they weighed exactly the same. They were the same height. Their birth weight, however, Guinevere was 4 pounds and 15 ounces, so she was a tiny little peanut, and Anastasia was 6 pounds and 4 ounces, so she was pretty much the regular weight of a small newborn baby. I may have to pause, but we'll see. Keep going until somebody knocks on the door. He might be done with our tree, I'm not sure. AJ asked if they are identical twins. So I did do a video on the girls, and I did do a DNA test on them. And at the end of that video, so it was 2 separate days. I did the DNA test, the mouth swab, which they both surprisingly did very well. And then I had to wait until I got the results, and I put that on the same video. So I put those together so people didn't finish watching that video, didn't find out that they are identical twins. Let's see. Karen asked why I don't cut food smaller. So some of the food I do leave in larger pieces because it actually prevents them from putting too much in their mouth. Or it's supposed to. That's what I was told by our pediatrician. Now, Anastasia still stuffs her mouth. Guinevere used to be the one that stuffed her mouth, and sometimes Guinevere still is. But I want them to figure out what the food looks like whole and how to get it to smaller pieces and to take small bites. That's number 1. Number 2, if you've ever gone out with 2 children that are hungry and you're also hungry, the restaurant is not going to cut their food up. So it's easier for them to learn now how to take smaller bites of their food so that I'm not sitting there trying to cut up 2 children plates at the same time on a very small table when everybody has food in front of them. It's very difficult. The next time that you go out, ask them for a second plate. Not with food, but just a regular plate. Imagine 2 plates sitting next to you on a very small table. And yeah, there's never enough room on those tables to cut the food and cool the food, and so it's easier for me just to cool off their food, stick it in front of them, and let them take small bites. So that's one reason why I don't cut the food smaller. The other thing is a lot of the food is actually so super small. So in their hands, everything looks even smaller on or even larger on camera because their hands are so small. So a lot of times when you see them eating a sandwich, it's actually a quarter of a sandwich, just regular bread cut in fours, and what you're seeing is a quarter of that sandwich rather than half of it, and everybody thinks it's a whole sandwich. It's a quarter. So the food a lot of times is actually small. The chicken that I have cut to, the size of my thumbnail, which is very tiny for their mouths, but it just looks like a lot or a lot bigger. Let's see. Joan asks if the girls pick out their own clothes. They do. So I will give them 2 or 3 options and they will choose what they want to wear. Now, some outfits, they do have favorites. So if they don't see that favorite outfit and they really want to wear it, they'll say, Mama, I want to wear fish. And that's, their one fish shirt that they have. Or Mama, I want to wear Moana. And they want to wear their Moana shirt. So they do pick out their own clothes now. Luzanne, I think that's your name, asked if there was any word on the bad corn. Last I heard, it was still bad that one time. Betty asked what the girls' favorite foods are. So, playing off the last question, I think it's corn, pickles, blueberries. Those are their top 3. And lately, Guinevere has just been on this toast kick. She loves toast. And don't forget Anastasia with her favorite fish, beef. Many viewers have also asked if the girls were potty trained. So we are working on it. There's no definite, time frame of when a kid should be potty trained, but it should be before 5 years old when they go to school. The girls are only 2.5. They have cousins that weren't potty trained until after they were 3. So they are kind of a head start. They're not consistent, but they do sit on the toilet. I wasn't sure if somebody was coming in. And I'm going to show everybody, if you go to my other channel, Hot Mess Express, SAHM Hot Mess Express, I'll put the link for that in the description as well. I'm going to show everybody why the thumbs down emoji is so important, and more about where the description for the video is, more about this. I showed you the description for the channel, where you can find that. I'm going to show you how to find the community section. So if you just type in SAHM Hot Mess Express, my other channel will come up, and there'll be a little tutorial video there. So thank you so much for listening, and I hope everybody has a great day, and you will see the girls tomorrow. Bye.